Okay, just wait for it, gents.
Hurry up!
I'm extending this intro a bit here.
Right there. He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper. It's that close.
Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie Guys and a cavalcade of guests on the line already, all queued up, all in here they're not even in the green room. They're just right here, ready for our free agent spectacular. But the legal tampering period's already started. It's a bit, I don't know. They should just ditch that whole thing. It's ridiculous. But in order, clockwise. We'll go clockwise. I did the wrong thing. Clockwise. I'm going to make it go the right way. Yes, clockwise. I have to go anti-clockwise. Ben Harler, how are you doing, Ben?
Yeah, good fellas. Delighted to be here.
Good. It sounds like you're in a closet, but you've got a beer. That's the main thing. So very good. Andrew, first time, and he's bringing the production values plus. We won't spoil the surprise. I'll bury the lead. But Andrew, a warm welcome.
Yes, it feels really strange because I know all the faces and I know obviously your voices and everything, but you've never heard me speak. So This is all a bit strange, but yeah.
Oh, fantastic to have you on. Neil, how you doing?
Good. Nice to see everyone, even Lewis.
Harsh.
And we go from someone we're pleased to have on to Neil.
He says. And Lewis, how are you doing? FF down under the commish of the Aussie Bowl. He'll be teeing all of that sort of good content up and obviously on lots of pods. But yeah, very pleased to have him on again. We occasionally touch base with you, Lewis, but not often enough.
Not often enough. Thanks for having me on. It's really good to be here. And I'm just doing a quick head count around the room and listening to everyone. It looks like we've got a 50-50 split of actual Aussies and not Aussies by my count.
Yeah, correct.
We call it the Half Aussie Guys NFL podcast.
It's the strangest Queensland accent I've ever heard.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Can't hear G. Is G's microphone
Oh, yeah, G,
on?
you sound like you're 1,000 miles away.
It's probably a good thing, to be honest. Let's just crack on.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a
Try
courtesy from AJ.
There we go. I had his mic off.
Hey.
Good thing. But it's probably deliberate. He probably discovered it. Damn. NFL free agency is one of the most fun times of the year, actually. Obviously, the draft is pretty fun, but free agency is wild. Certainly, recent years, it's been completely off the wall, bananas and wild. And we've already seen some quarterback trades and all sorts of stuff happening. And I think this free agency is not going to disappoint. And certainly when you look at the slate of players, there's some talent, man. There's some talent out there, some surprise franchise tags, but some other guys certainly floating out there that should get some big bucks, even in a year where the salary cap is a little bit down. Ganley, how you doing?
And the problem with that being that some of the guys are out there going to get big bucks. There's going to be guys on teams that are going to get cut.
Oh,
If it wasn't for what we've had in the past 12 months, they'd probably still be on the roster.
Yes.
The team.
Yeah, it's quite possible. That is certainly very, very possible. But what we've got is a bit of a concept here. G, do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
I tried to explain it to the guys, and I didn't do a very good job of it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the free agents that are available. We've all been given 5 teams, and that leaves 2 teams over. So the two teams that have been left out are, who are they? The Saints and the
No.
Rams.
No, I've got the
No,
Saints.
so who is it? The Rams and
Eagles.
is it? Yes, the Eagles. Yes, because they are in real, cap salary,
Hell.
purgatory at
Yep.
the moment. So they'll get the dregs after we're finished with whoever's left. But the concept is we've all been given 5 teams. So we'll be drawing who gets to pick. Now, this is free agency. It's not a draft as such because free agency isn't a draft. So we're going to just do it randomly and just pull them out of a hat or just they're in my hand. They've all been shuffled. I can't see who they are. That person will pick a free agent for the team. And also take into consideration that we're also going to use Todd McShay's 3.0 mock. So you have to take into consideration that whatever player that he has down for that team in his mock draft has already been taken. So
No. Yeah, that position, and you're talking rookies. Todd McShay's rookie draft.
yes,
Yeah.
Todd McShay's rookie draft.
But that's not to
3.0.
say that if McShay has, like, let's say you're a wide receiver needy team and McShay's got your team taking wide receiver, doesn't mean you can't grab another one.
Oh no! Look, one of the
But-
teams that I'm picking for have slated for an offensive tackle. I'm more than happy to go and get another.
Load
one.
up.
Yeah.
Load up. So, and we're not taking salary cap considerations into account either. It's a bit of a dream team thing. So it may not necessarily be 100% realistic.
And unless you want to, you can.
unless you have.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless you have. And what I'll do is I'll take a note of...
There are no rules.
except the ones you just spoke about. So,
Well, they're not rules. They're just setting out.
What is
Guidelines.
this, like free agency fight club?
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly.
so as you do it, G, and as the picks come down, I'll make a note of them so we can recap at the end. Okay, G, you want to kick it off?
We all have our 5 players.
We
So
do.
The first one out of is the Broncos. So who has the Broncos? Neil, you're up.
Right. Let me get my piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
The Broncos were mocked by Todd McShay to draft a cornerback. So I had two options. Sorry?
Who's the
Oh,
cornerback?
Who's the cornerback?
I didn't write that down. I only wrote down the positions. Sorry.
Okay.
So I had 2 options. So my first option was, I think if they don't draft a quarterback, they're probably going to look to get a decent backup free agent quarterback or an O-line upgrade. So I went for the O-line upgrade because I thought they're not super quarterback needy. They might get a quarterback lower down in the draft. So my selection picked
Williams. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Probably this is where it's going to get a bit confusing because I might want to pick him for another one of my teams later. So I'm not going to pick him in case he comes up later. So the Broncos are going to take Darrell Williams. So Darrell Williams dislocated his kneecap a couple of years ago, and it probably ruined his chances to get to be kept by Buffalo because he had a second team All-Pro season. He's proved in Buffalo he can play right tackle at a really high level. So yeah, I'm going with Darrell Williams to the Broncos.
And the cornerback they took that was mocked to the Denver Broncos is Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech.
Aha, very good. Okay, nice.
Okay,
Nice.
next one up. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay.
Is that the Bengals without an L? Is that Bengals? Is that meant to be the
Bengals. I did
The
it
Bengals.
fast.
So that's the Bengals. Oh,
The
that's
Bengals.
me.
Oh, wow.
That's me. That's the first team I had. And I had my heart in my mouth a little bit there when you were picking an O-lineman because the Bengals, look, mate, their salary cap at the moment is plus 44 million. So they've got a bit of money to spend. All right.
Okay.
44.1. AJ Green, free agent. They will draft. Todd McShay has Penei Sewell, offensive tackle from Oregon.
Yep.
Left tackle going to the Bengals. So that'll allow Jonah Williams to move to the right tackle. So we need another offensive lineman, possibly. What they also really desperately need is edge guys. They were terrible last year. Carl Lawson was the number one sack artist last year with only 5.5, and they ranked dead last in the NFL with only 17 sacks for the entire season.
He's a free agent as well, Carl Lawson.
Yes, he is. Geno Atkins, the sunset is here for him. They traded away Carlos Dunlop during the season. So they do have needs, and edge is a really big need. We've got Shaq Barrett out there. Who's that guy? I can't pronounce his last name. AJ asked about
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, Ngakoue. But look, the main concern and what we want to do, we've got hopefully our quarterback for the next 10 plus years. We want to keep him safe. So I'm going to go and grab another offensive lineman. I could even gone and got a wide receiver with AJ Green, a free agent. I don't know if they're going to bring him back, and if they do, they're going to ask him to take a decent amount, considering he was a franchise tag guy and hardly played. So I'm going to go and grab Joe Thurney. Is it Thurney?
Tooney.
Tooney, I think. Tooney. I'm going to go grab him. He's a versatile linesman. He can play anywhere along the line, and he's done that before. So I reckon just slot him in. He's one of the younger guys that are available in the free agent market at this position. I think he's 28. I think a lot of the other guys, you see a 3 at least in front of the name. So someone that can be around, sign him to a contract for a few years, and a little bit more protection for our boy.
Yep, out of New England.
Mm-hmm.
And versatile. You can play center and guard.
So if you should we pipe up if we've just been sniped, AJ?
If you're not happy about it, you can show a bit of
you
a
can
bit of anger.
I was just going to say I had Joe Tooney. He was someone I had earmarked for Ben's Vikings. So I'm going to have to go to my backup selection there.
Well, maybe you shouldn't say that, because the guy who's now the backup guy is not going to be too happy when he finds out he wasn't the first choice.
Yeah.
Well,
you might have to do some signing bonus there.
Maybe if you've been sniped, save it till when you come up with your team.
Okay.
That might be best.
Next one up.
Next one.
Falcons.
Whoa.
2 in a row. I'm loving this game. This is great. Okay, so the Falcons, and here I go again. I think I'm the only guy that got to pick his own team. Is that correct?
I believe so.
That was just
convenient.
by pure
coincidence. Gee, I just want to remind you that Todd Gurley is available.
Todd.
So if you want to, re-up that contract.
A message from Todd Gurley's agent as well. Todd Gurley is available.
Well, the Falcons need a quarterback, edge, linebacker, defensive line, offensive line, tight end, running back, wide receiver. No, we do need a few things at the Falcons. And so, look, who have we got going? Oh, I can't believe that Todd McShay has put down that the Falcons are going to go and draft. Oh, geez, I've lost his name now. We're going to go and get the quarterback out of North Dakota State?
Trey Lance.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why Matt Ryan can't play for at least another 3 years. And the way the team's looking, we'll probably be picking high again next year anyway. So I don't know what the quarterback market is next year. But anyway, so our needs definitely are. Look, the Falcons have been terrible at drafting edge guys, pass rushers.
Yes, you have.
And then we go and get Deontay Fowler last year, pay him a bucket load of cash. We can't offload him this year, and he was pretty much a bust last year. If his cap hit this year is 18.5 million with a dead cap of 15.3. So with the way that we want to play, at least defensive coordinator Dean Pease wants to play. He wants to blitz, and he said he wants to blitz from all angles. So I'm going to go an edge guy. And this, as I already said, there's a couple, Shaq Barrett. There's Bud Dupree out there coming off the ACL. Giovanni Clowney's out there. and the other guy, what's his name again? AJ?
Yannick Ngakoue.
Thank you. But look, I'm going to go. The Falcons are in purgatory. They're terrible with cap space of the under by $15 million. So they're in the red. There'll be a few cuts. So,
you're going to pick my sneaky favorite.
I'm going to go and pick a guy that I like personally. Guy that can rush the passer, can play sort of the outside linebacker. I'm going to go and get for the Falcons because they haven't got a lot of cash. I'm going to go get Deontay Fowler. I'm going to go and get Leonard Floyd.
I was going to say Deontay Fowler?
Yeah, sorry. Leonard Floyd.
Oh, okay.
He can do it all. He can play 4-3, 3-4, play with his hand in the dirt. You can outside linebacker. He can versatile, and at the moment, that's what the Falcons need. And the way that the defense is setting up, this is a guy that on our defense could work out quite well.
Gee, I just if you speak to Falcons fans and you've gone through Vic Beasley and you've got through all those guys that haven't worked out,
I know,
and then someone says Leonard Floyd, Leonard Floyd to you, I'd just be like, good luck with that, mate.
We haven't got a lot of money, so what do we do? Do we go and get a Shaq Barrett that had that great 1 year? Bud Dupree coming off the ACL. We know when he plays, he's good, but
Dupree would be better. I feel like Floyd is a bit a late breakout. Like he took a long time to kind of,
Mate, we haven't got a lot of
look. I don't want to tell other GMs how to do their job, but
but he's going to anyway.
I feel like the Falcons might not be competing in the next couple of years. So I kind of feel like Floyd, it's like, well, he's probably going to give you, 2 years, maybe 3?
Oh, he's a bit younger than that. What is he?
He's 29, isn't he? 28, 29?
Oh, yeah. He's been in the league for 5 years already.
He'll be 34 after a year on the Falcons.
Oh, no, he's 26.
The problem with the Falcons...
He's 26. I take it back.
The problem with the Falcons... Yeah, there you go. This is the problem I have with them is that they're sort of in no man's land of rebuilding. That they're not going to compete. Are they going to go do a whole rebuild? They're probably realistically 3 years away. Realistic, like minimum. So whatever guy we go and get is pretty much useless to us for now. So I just thought, mate, we just need something on defense. Maybe I should have gone and got a Shaq Barrett, but I think I don't think he'll want to come to the Falcons. And maybe I should have got Bud Dupree, but we don't have a big cap space. So I sort of, even though I said that cap space wasn't part of it, I sort of used it with the Falcons. I try to be a little bit sensible.
Okay. All right. Very good, G.
Right, next one up.
Maybe not you as a suggestion.
The Giants.
Oh, that's me. All right.
Oh, boo.
Sorry. The idea is I'm going to flip you guys into the big space here on the screen but at the moment it's just kind of staying with us. So
that's all right. Just be a bit faster than G, okay?
All right. Okay.
This is not going to be like the real NFL draft where it goes 3 days, okay? We're gonna get this done tonight.
Yeah, no worries.
We're going to skip his pick.
It's all right. Listen, you guys get your pens ready because you're going to cross this name off all of your lists. Kenny Galladay is a New York Giant. Boom. That is a perfect fit. And, the Giants aren't shy about spending money. They'll go out there and spend money. They need a wide receiver. They need to support Daniel Jones. Galladay has been a bit up and down. The Giants have ranked 31st in total offense in 2020. So, that's obviously pretty average. They need to support their quarterback. Kenny Galladay is, I think, probably now with the franchise tags that have dropped, probably the best wide receiver on the free agent market. Mm-hmm. There's some other names. There's some nice sort of deeper names in there, but I think Galladay is the prize.
So you Todd McShay's gone and
Jalen Waddle. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
So you're going to go and
yes, sir, absolutely, I am. Okay. Yep. Give me Galladay. Give me,
Waddle.
Evan Ingram, the sort of perennial disappointing Evan Ingram, Jalen Waddle, and then the supporting cast. Your Sterling Shepherds and whoever else, and then
Darius Slayton.
Yep. And then, they're looking significantly better.
Darius is moving somewhere else.
Oh, I don't care.
AJ, I'm just disappointed as Dave Gettleman's avatar. You didn't stay true to form and hand out a huge contract to a 2-down run stuffing linebacker. Look, the Giants have got lots of needs, to be fair. And the next position I had on my list was probably going edge. But like linebacker, cornerback is a need for them as well. They've got need all over the place. New ownership, you name it, they need it.
The Steelers are on the board.
Oh, it's me again. Wow. All right, hang on.
Hey, I tell you what, boys, the fix is in on this, isn't it? My goodness.
Get ours out of the way and then we can leave.
Okay. All right, hang on. Let me get rid of that one. Steelers. All right. I probably am going to go a little bit boring here because, Todd McShay's got Najee Harris going to the Steelers, which would be very nice. And that means, Steelers. That means then they're not necessarily in the Aaron Jones market potentially. So I opted for. There's a couple of this is very early in the draft. I wasn't expecting to have this many choices, but I'll probably go the sensible route and go and get the best center that's on the free agent market. That's Corey Linsley from the Packers. That's going to help Najee Harris. It's going to help protect Big Ben for another year. Obviously, Pouncey's retired. It's a desperate need for the Steelers. Linsley earned first-team All-Pro honors for his 7th season. And he's going to be a hotly pursued player in free agency. And Fantasy Flog's given it the thumbs up. He's a Steelers fan, so that sounds pretty good. I went sensible. I could have gone with some potentially sexier players, but listen, O-line is super important. So let's go Corey Linsley. Ex-Packers, I should say.
Ex-Packers.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Next up, the Panthers are on the clock.
Oh, hello.
Finally.
Let's get down to business. So Todd McShay has the Carolina Panthers trading up to go and get Justin Fields as their future franchise quarterback. That leaves Teddy Bridgewater on the outside looking in. You make an investment like that. You want to protect this young quarterback ASAP. And we're going to go right away. We're going to hand out a big contract to a guy who's played well. Let's protect him at tackle. Let's beef up this offensive line and go get some Trent Williams. He might be 33, but he's got plenty of juice left in the tank, and he can escort Mr. Fields over the next couple of seasons and make sure he stays upright and stays protected, and we don't end up with a Joe Burrow situation where he's just getting harassed, at the mesh point. So Justin Fields, let's protect him and bring ourselves in an all-pro, absolute elite, future Hall of Famer offensive tackle.
And the prize of free agency, according to many.
Cheers to that.
Number one on many, many boards.
How long a contract have you given him? 33?
I'd probably give him a 3-year contract that's really 2.
Yep.
Something, one of those sneaky little contracts that, something like that. Maybe a 2-year contract with a team option definitely want him around a couple of years.
Beautiful.
Nice. Nice.
Okay. On the clock is the Chargers.
Oh, it's me again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
There we
Be
go.
Nice.
I'm going to try and be as nice as I can here. There's a few different ways. Genuinely, there's a few different ways we could go. Rashawn Slater is the pick that Todd McShay has going, which is great. Continue to build that line up front that's just been ravaged with injuries. Although, let's be honest, what position hasn't been ravaged with injuries for the Chargers over the last few seasons? If I could make one off the board free agent acquisition, it would be an entire new medical department for the Chargers and a doctor who doesn't go around jabbing people in the old ribs. Although it might be the best. It might be the best thing he's ever done in his career is taking out old Tyrod with a bit of medical liability there. there's a few different ways to go. This is an elite team on defense. We've got Brandon Staley coming in as the new head coach, skipping over town. And I believe, AJ, you might have to correct me here, but Melvin Ingram, is Melvin Ingram a free agent? He's gone from the team. I know they guaranteed all of his money. We have Joey Bosa on one side of the football. I still want to get after the opposing quarterback. Let's look who's in the division here, the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have any offensive linemen on their roster right now. We've seen, a cliche as it is, the way to beat any quarterback, including the best one in the league, is to just put him under constant duress. So that's why I am going to go out and I'm going to give a nice big contract to a man who has been harassing him for several years now. And let's go get Shaq Barrett and bring him into the situation and pair him with Mr. Bosa there on the edge and rain hellfire down on Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, AJ is a very happy man.
Yeah, I'm not like a massive Shaq Barrett fan. Yeah, absolutely, because I think it's a pick that we need.
Well, that's why you should be happy.
Oh yeah, I'm happy. I'd prefer Ngakoue, to be honest.
Really?
But yeah.
To
but
be fair,
Barrett
this is the guy that
probably
wasn't
more
happy when they
suited-
drafted Justin Herbert either.
Yeah, I know. So
What do you know?
I don't know anything.
AJ, he bounced off 2 teams this year.
Yeah, I know he did. I know, and that's kind of weird. I don't know why the Vikings. Look, it's a bad sign that the Vikings were so willing to let him go out the door with their pass rush because, oh my goodness, that. But yeah, and Shaq Barrett probably suits the scheme a lot better than Ngakoue would. At the moment they're looking at Uchenna Uwosu, who will probably play, in a rotational edge role, but Shaq Barrett would be definitely an upgrade. I like it. Thank you. All right.
Okay. On the clock, we have the Vikings.
Who's the Viking?
Don't let me down, Neil. Don't let me down, son.
Right. So this is, like I said earlier, I was going to draft Joe Thuney here because if there's one position that the Vikings need some help on, it's both lines. Now, they were mocked to draft a defensive end, and I have brought up the draft.
Kwity Paye? Is that how you pronounce
Kwity
it?
Paye from Michigan.
Yes.
Who they suggest could slide in next to Daniel Hunter at defensive end. So, like I said, I was going to have Joe Thuney. He's gone, so I am going to take Dalvin Tomlinson, who is because the Vikings don't have they have other needs as well. Like I said, they need help on both lines, so they're probably going to try and get both an offensive and a defensive lineman, I would say, in free agency. So I am going to take an above-average starting guard who's never missed a snap, and Dalvin Tomlinson, who's a consistent guy that's going to anchor the middle of that defensive line. I think he's a safe choice rather than a sexy choice.
How do you feel about that, Ben?
I mean, I like the player. I think he's impressed ever since he's been in the league with the Giants. But I mean, the one thing I think with Michael Pierce coming back after opting out last year, who we brought over from the Ravens, we've got a few young candidates in the middle there. So I'd prefer an edge player there. But I think like Neil said, I mean, it's the offensive line for the Vikings has been that offensive for the last number of years. So it looks like with letting Riley Reif go, their second round pick last year, Ezra Cleveland, he's going to move to tackle, which does open a big need at guard. So yeah, I'd be very surprised if we spent big. I mean, we've also got big cap issues as well. So I think they'll look definitely at the draft in addressing that, I think. So it is a tough one there for Neil.
Okay, so
hence why I tried to trade it to you.
We have the Browns.
Hey, I'm on the board finally.
Yeah.
Now, I when I saw the Browns, I was like, "Ooh, this is fun," because the Browns are fun again. How fun were they last year? And look, I think we've talked about how Stefanski's got that offense going. I mean, I really don't see any needs on offense. I think anything in free agency is going to be, a luxury if they go after an offensive, a wide receiver or a tight end or something like that. I mean, for me, they had in the mock draft, so outside linebacker Zaven Collins from Tulsa is earmarked there as that kind of pass rush edge guy to come the other side of Myles Garrett. And I must admit, I think saying that they might do that, but I think they could bring in a Carl Lawson. That would make a lot of sense as well if they looked at that in the draft. I mean, Lawson, young and kind of underrated, I think, and hasn't been in a great situation, obviously, with the Bengals. And I just think you think Lawson and Garrett from the other side, that gives you suddenly a championship defense that looks like to go with a championship offense. So he would be my probably one that I want to pick here. However, I'm going to throw a complete spanner in the works because I just think this player is one of the best defensive players still left. And, the Browns have struggled in this area over the last few years. They even had ex-Viking reject Sendejo there last year. But I'm going to go John Johnson, safety, coming across from a couple of outstanding years with the Rams and just an all-round playmaker, elite guy who will just completely revolutionize that safety position for them.
That's very nice. The Browns can't seem to find a safety. They've still got. No, who have they got there at the moment? Have they got Ronnie Harrison?
They got Delpit, who was hurt, right? He was his safety.
Yeah, Delpit. Yeah, he's deep though. Johnson can play up in the box, but
sure.
And I mean their linebackers are pretty average. So Johnson did help in that regard.
I have John Johnson in the Revolution League. Does that help me out?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Right, thanks, Ben.
I like that pick. I really like that pick. I must say, Ben, as you know, as a Vikings fan, Sendejo is just an absolute liability anywhere and whatever he does. And I had a great little time just watching a handful of special teams plays that he was involved in. I think it was against the Ravens, and Sendejo managed to fuck up everything he was involved in in a sequence of 2 plays. It was truly remarkable how just the lack of awareness that he has. It was truly outstanding to just see what an absolute liability he was whenever he was on the field. Safety is a huge need. So yeah, I like that pick. And yeah, I'm sure more than anyone here knows how useless Sendejo is. So if he's starting for you at safety, you've got problems.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, let's try. How you going up there, Andrew? Are you still with
chilling?
us?
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm just picking. And while I'm sitting here, I'm shuffling at the same time, so they're always moving. So
he just sat there lurking in the dark.
He's like,
when you see a black screen, I've just left. All right.
He's waiting for his moment,
mate. Should put some bushes behind there. Saints are on the clock.
That's me.
Oh, AJ. Sorry, Andy. I'm trying to help you out here, mate. I'll start cheating.
Okay.
So whose contract are you going to restructure here, AJ, to make this happen?
Well, this I'm the first one to pick 3. So, G, you've got 2, mate, Lewis 2, Neil's got 2,
Ben's got 1, and
Andrew, bridesmaid.
Sorry, dude.
Never the bride. All right,
you're going to have a big run at the end, though. You're going to come home strong. That's all we can say.
Now it's always difficult to. Oh, I should start with Todd McShay's pick, who's Joe Tyron, defensive end out of Washington. They lose Trey Hendrickson to free agent. Well, unless they try and sign him back, I don't think they're going to be able to afford him. So edge is definitely a need for the Saints. Marcus Davenport is. I think he's done. He's been very disappointing.
I just want to say too,
What?
before we keep going, that the Saints are now the 31st team in cap purgatory because I believe that the Eagles made some cuts, didn't they? So just this has been updated. But when we did this, the Eagles were at 31.
Oh,
So just letting you know.
oh well, never mind.
If people
Well,
go.
I went for a defensive back. I went.
Don't
to,
spend too much. You're still down by almost $30 million.
Well, I was going
It
to
is
go
a
for the number one
bounty
defensive back.
incentive-laden contract.
Yeah, that's right. William Jackson III, who is he's a number one corner. He's solid. I mean, in a land where corners are hard to find and good corners even harder to find, you settle for average corners. And I'd say he's an okay corner. The Saints need any kind of cornerback help they can get. 28 years old. I think he's been in the league for 4 years. A different position to fill, and I think this will be a good, solid addition to the Saints D.
And that'd probably tie in with the amount of money that they don't have to spend, seeing that he's only just average.
Well,
They only have an
no, I
average
think
amount
he
of money
might
to spend.
actually, he might actually be one of the best corners that are in the free agent market. To be honest,
Okay.
there's a few though. There's a
There's a
few.
few.
It's fine. You can
Okay.
just pay him in beignets and jazz music. It's all
Yeah,
good.
that's right. Okay.
I love New Orleans. That was a good time.
So
down there.
good.
That was a good time. Oof. Just thinking about it. Okay. The Seahawks are on the clock.
Seahawks.
Oh, is that rigged? Is it? Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your work.
Yes.
All right, hang on. I'm
Who's
gonna
the
get my
Hawks? Is it
background,
Andrew?
Yes,
Yep.
Andrew the Hawks.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
and then here we go. Hang on. Got
He's
my,
got a hat
got my
too.
I've got my crayons out today, and I've got all my hats sorted. So I'm going to put on my Seahawks hat. Now, Seahawks obviously are pretty close to competing. So
Probably not the best sponsorship at the moment, Boeing.
no. Oh, see, and I haven't actually realised that. Obviously you can screw my hat, which is pretty special.
No,
But,
that's all right.
yeah, so the Seahawks are obviously pretty close to competing. They're probably the worst team out of what I've got so far as missing out players, because obviously their offensive line could do with some work. So, Trent Williams going, Thuney going, Lindsley going, has hurt. I guess,
Russell Wilson
yeah.
going. That might hurt.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
could so looking at the players that are available, it's quite interesting because I wouldn't have thought this, but yeah, there we go. Just came up on the
it
list
did.
down there. I think probably at this stage, Aaron Jones is probably a great pick for them. I think he offers a fair bit more than Carson did, and I kind of feel like that's probably a good option for them. Whether or not, I guess the question becomes whether or not Wilson stays or not. If Wilson stays, then you probably lose a bit of that value from a running back position anyway. But obviously, you've got that coaching staff in there who are saying they're committed to the run. So let's go Aaron Jones. Hey,
Wow.
And who did? I'm just trying to find out who Todd McShay had mocked going to the.
Seahawks.
no one Seahawks because the
So
New
you
York
got
no,
a
Jets,
first-round pick.
no pick.
Yes, they don't have a first round pick.
For the next
This is the most realistic pick by far because I can totally see the Seahawks trading away Russell Wilson, going to sign an overpaying running back in free agency, and Pete Carroll's desperate bid to continue to recommit to the run game. Yeah, ironically, the hat that Andrew's wearing that is now showing his head as see-through and devoid of brains is exactly the GM move that Seattle might make in real life. So, Andrew, good commitment to the bit, mate.
I definitely think if they had everyone available, if they were picking first, I feel like you'd have to go offensive line. But
No question. Yeah.
whether or not, I guess the interesting thing from their point of view would be the two guys who were released from Kansas City. I think either of those would probably be a good option in Seattle. So, yeah, you could look at those guys, or then, the defensive line probably could do with some work as well.
The Geno
Yeah,
Smith
very
era.
nice. Aaron Jones,
Yeah.
Chris Carson on the same team. Pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock. And there goes all my shares in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Chris Carson's a free agent. Gee.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they bring him back.
Oh, they bring him back.
Yeah.
What about Rashard
They're
Penny?
just going to run. No.
Bring him back as well.
Yes, yes. Okay. The Chiefs are on the clock.
Hello, that's me. Kansas City Chiefs. Wow. I mean, I hope Todd McShay updates his mock draft, considering the recent news. They've now lost both of their starting tackles or theoretical starting tackles, and he's given them Nick Bolton inside linebacker to pair. I've completely lost it. Justin Houston is the middle linebacker for the Chiefs. I'm having a complete and utter mental fade right now, but really they need to beef up their offensive line. Unfortunately, there isn't all that much left on the board, unfortunately. So Trent Williams is gone. Moving down the list, Thuney's gone. Now, did Corey Linsley go? Is that right?
No, he's still available.
No, Corey
No.
Linsley.
No, he's gone.
went.
Yeah, he went.
Who took him?
Yeah, I thought so.
I took him Steelers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he went. I thought he'd gone. I thought Linsley had gone. Darrell Williams has gone. I mean, we could bring back Mitchell. We could bring back Mitchell Schwartz. I mean, really, the situation is they're gonna have to try and figure something out. In terms of the offensive line, they've again, like I said, Fisher's gone, Schwartz is gone. So I'm going to move away from that position, even though it is clearly the position of most need for them, just because right now there's nothing left available for them. Offensively, they are pretty set overall, except for those guys up front. So I'm going to look
except for the guys that protect your most valuable asset.
Right, but I'm not gonna come out and hand a big contract to some to some scrubs in a tight salary cap situation. So I'm gonna go for something a little bit, I guess, out there. I'm gonna try and I suppose he's a little bit of a quote unquote luxury pick. I think the talent outweighs the risk here, and I think given his injury situation, this might be something you'll be able to do. And given the quality they have in the secondary already, let's put a hat on a hat. We're not going to ask him to play full time, but I do think he adds strength to the defense. And I'm going to go and bring in. I'm going to go and bring in cornerback Jason Verrett here to the Kansas City Chiefs. Give them a cornerback. Only because the offensive line has been so in demand through here. It's not an ideal pick for them, but you can never have too many good cornerbacks. Jason Verrett, I think, is a very good cornerback. Just really struggled with injuries. You give him a 1-year contract, plenty of guaranteed money. See how things play out for them, and they can bring him in. I know they've got plenty of good defensive backs, but you can never have too many.
No, and the only trouble he has is just staying on the park, really.
Exactly right.
Definitely, he's been to the Pro Bowl
Yep.
at least once. Went once with the Chargers, but where is Verrett now? Who does he play for?
He was with the San
49ers.
Francisco 49ers.
Oh, he's with the Niners. Okay. All righty.
Okay, next on the clock we have the Texans.
It's me. All right.
Jesus.
Texans.
Sorry, that might be one of yours, Andrew. Sorry, dude.
That's all right. I'm enjoying listening at the moment. It's all good.
Mate, like I said, you're gonna have a late rum.
Oh yeah, he definitely will. Now the Texans, Todd McShay has got drafted nobody to the Texans because they don't have a first round pick. They don't have a pick till the 3rd. Oh. If you're the Texans GM, it's like, oh my something. The Texans have got a lot of needs.
They're putting a lot of faith. They're putting a lot of faith in prayer.
Yeah, they definitely are. This is
More
looking
ways
like a
than
train
one-
wreck.
More ways than one.
I was tempted to go. Well, actually, the first couple of players that I had written down
You got
were,
a bit of coin though. You got 34 million.
Yeah, well, the first few players I had are gone because I was looking at offensive line. And so the offensive line market has dried up very, very fast. And so now I'm going to go to the opposite end of the field. I'm going to go to the defensive backfield. and go pick up a cornerback, another cornerback. There's been a few in a row, almost a few in a row. Yeah, Texans building for the future. Yeah, no kidding, like 10 years in the future. I'm going to go and pick up a cornerback ex-Seattle, a very handy guy, Shaq Griffin. Intercepted 3 passes in 2020. He's his 4th season as a starter in Seattle. He's pretty consistently around the ball. Just looking here, 39 pass breakups, either defended, tipped, or batted down, which ties him for 14th most in the NFL over the past 4 seasons.
Hey, mate,
which is pretty handy.
I was just thinking, if a movie ever applied to a football team,
If a what? Sorry.
a Hollywood movie ever applied more to a football team,
Yeah.
would it be Back to the Future for the Texans?
It's Back to the Future Part 2, where someone's
Back to
someone's
the
gone
Future,
back
he
and
goes-
they've
goes
screwed
back-
it up.
He goes back, and
This is the bad Biff world.
No, Bill. They go back and they
Oh,
just
I
change,
see.
they change
Oh,
it all.
yeah.
If a movie ever applied more to a football team, Back to the Future applies to the Texans.
Oh, my word. My goodness. Imagine what you'd do.
Okay. On the clock now, we have the Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins. Who has the Miami Dolphins? Neil.
Me.
How come the exciting teams go to the boring people? Come on, dude. Come
All
on.
right.
You living on your bloody.
That's a
privilege.
predisposition that
Yeah.
belongs to his country. He can't help it.
He's living on that privileged land that he lives on.
Yeah. All right. I'll make sure you get the next painting contract.
Might have worked there for 12 years, dude.
So who are the Finns
Um,
picking according to Todd McShay?
The Finns are taking a wide receiver. They are taking Devonta Smith from Alabama.
Okay.
So I think you could argue I had them taking, it would have been a straight up Aaron Jones pick if he was still on the board, because their running back room is non-existent really. Because they've taken Devonta Smith, I could take another wide receiver because they really only have Devonta Parker. Preston Williams, G's boy, keeps getting injured, so not sure about him. But yeah, I'm going to take Chris Carson to the Dolphins as the best running back available on the free agency market. They need a running back because they don't have one. So yeah, Chris Carson.
And I feel like Chris Carson.
Aaron Jones would have been your first choice, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think. Chris Carson, in a situation like Miami, could be really good. Out from sort of that little bit of a mess.
For some
in
reason,
Seattle.
Chris Carson is underrated,
Yeah, I
as a
know.
running back.
That's right. Yeah.
and I don't know what it is.
No, I'm not sure.
I
Always
still
hard
think
to
he
find.
carries that sort of like, he was a 7th round pick. So
Yeah,
I mean, that carries a long way with players. I think
It does.
it really
I don't know
does.
Why is
Crazy.
that, Lewis? Why is it that where you go in the draft? I understand because it comes down to money and it comes down to, well, we picked them in a certain spot. And
Yep.
It's just absolute. If a guy's an absolute gun, does it really matter where you picked him in the draft?
no, but it's the same. It's the inverse. Is the same reason why 1st round picks who've done nothing for years keep getting shots over and over again, like Dante Fowler.
Mate,
Has he played a full season though?
Thanks for picking out the Falcons.
Yeah.
Carson's had some injury issues, hasn't he?
Oh,
though?
he has.
He
Yeah,
has.
He
yeah.
has had injury issues.
Like
But
you're
when
running
he's on
back.
the
Like health is almost a talent for a running back these days.
Oh, yeah.
and they're so disposable. This is the problem, and the worst part about being a running back is that if you ever listen to anybody talk about the upcoming draft is and the positional need, mate, we'll just go and grab someone in the 3rd round. Like,
Yep.
it's just
Unless the person saying that is Maurice Jones-Drew, who gets paid by NFL Network to do mock drafts and has 2 running backs going in the first round. Like,
3, wasn't it? 3.
Was it 3? 3, you're right.
Yeah.
It was 3. Maurice, let it go, man. I know you used to play running back, but my God, the time has moved on. Just let it go, dude.
Yeah. Oh man.
Mate, that's 3 teams that they got every other position filled except running back. That's the only reason 3 would go.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing you need.
Yep. Yep. Precisely.
Okay. Oh, sorry. That's my on the clock, the Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Oh,
Neil.
He's back.
I'm almost finished here.
Yeah, I know. At least we'll get rid of
Time to log off.
Yeah, I'll be reading it to myself. This is going to be great.
All right. The Bills are mocked to draft a running back in Travis Etienne. Now, I don't understand why they would do that, considering they have drafted a running back in the last 2 consecutive years in Singletree and Moss. So,
And to be honest, sorry to interrupt you, but like as much as people might be critical of Singletree and Moss, they've kind of been drafted, I think, to be 50-50 pieces. And that's fine.
It works.
They're not workhorses.
Combination.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. So they've had a plan. It's not like they've gone, let's get Singletree. Oh, he hasn't worked out. Let's get Moss. It hasn't been like that at all. Yeah, anyway, so that I don't think it makes sense for them to be going and getting Etienne. I don't think that'll happen. No.
No. So
I agree with you.
I was then, as most teams are, the Bills are losing Darrell Williams. So I was looking to replace that kind of position. I had Trent Williams penciled in for that
John
one.
Brown yesterday?
Yeah. So it could go. So what I've done instead, they've got Cole Beasley. They like the rookie whose name's escaped me.
Gabriel Davis.
Gabriel Davis. Yeah. So I am going to go there. They are going to get a weapon, not a wide receiver. I'm going to go Jonnu Smith.
Oh, you flubbed it. You didn't pick the best one,
mate. That is a nice pick because that's one thing that they really do lack.
It would be,
yeah. Yeah. So a red zone weapon for them. He provides some value beyond the box score. He's a decent blocker.
He can also run the ball. He can actually also run the ball as well.
There you go. You don't even need Travis Etienne. You've got a running back, tight end, all in one.
Yeah. So there's my pick.
And look, the problem people say about Jonnu Smith is the fact that I don't think he's been over 500 yards in any season that he's played. But mate, he's been on the team that run the ball, like constantly run the ball.
And Tannehill, in watching a lot of the Tennessee games, Tannehill didn't seem to target him a whole lot, to be honest.
No.
I mean, when you've got AJ Brown there and you're on limited pass attempts, you're going to fire it to AJ Brown. I love this pick, Neil. This is great.
I think it's a good fit.
You had a big body target into Josh Allen and Brian Daboll. He's going to cook up some real exciting stuff. Real creative mind inside the red zone. You can get Jonnu Smith working in there, not just receiving, but running the football as well. I think this is. I really like this pick, and he could do a lot for the Bills. And I think they're, as much as it pains me to say it as a Patriots fan, they're a very analytically sharp organization. They've gone out and made a lot of very good decisions. And AJ, I would agree exactly what you said with those 2 running backs that they've drafted. They do not intend either of those guys to be full-time workhorses.
No.
They've gone out, they've surrounded Josh Allen with weapons. They've built an offensive line around him. And they said, okay, we want to be a pass-first football team. We want to throw the ball on first down because we know this is the best way to move the ball and score points. They've given the supporting cast. And yeah, we just need those 2 smaller backs to run the ball occasionally. We're not going to ask them to do it all the time. Bills are trending upwards, and adding Jonnu Smith only makes that team better.
And you're exactly right. And it's not the fact that they've gone out and picked, like, okay, Stefan Diggs is a gun, but they've gone and picked certain guys for certain positions that do the job. Like, I'm a massive fan of Cole. I'm a massive fan of anybody that plays in the slot and gets absolutely hammered every time they catch the football. And
Cole Beasley
Cole
doesn't get the respect.
Oh, mate, have you seen? He can't cover him, and he's white, and he's got red hair.
And he raps.
And he raps. He is holding it down for white people so much.
But no, they've been really smart about the guys that have gone out and picked up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next on the clock is the Packers, and that's me. So back round to me, and I'll make it really quick, okay, guys? So the needs for the Packers are offensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, inside defensive line, and linebacker. They're under the cap. They're in purgatory at the moment at in the red at $8.5 million. That's not very much these days. They are mocked from Todd McShay to get defensive tackle Levi.
Levi what?
Just Levi.
Levi.
The big L.
He's an international pop star and football player. Levi.
Can you pronounce that? Out of Washington?
Where is it?
Down there. Can you pronounce that name? I can't pronounce that name. Levi.
On Wuzu. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
on Wuzurike. On Wuzurike, I think.
Okay, that's as good as I could do.
Yep.
That's fine. So look, they have wide receivers always been a bane of their existence, especially with Aaron Rodgers, and they have no wide receiver that will be contracted in 2022 at the moment as it stands. So let's say they're going to keep Devontae Adams. So they lose a running back. So a running back would be another addition. But I really think, mate, they weren't that far away, were they? They were going on a fourth down away from going that one step further. So I'm going to go and give him a wide receiver. I'm going to go give him a deep threat. And I'm going to go and give him Will Fuller.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, granted that, he's been busted for doing the gear, but who hasn't? And so I just think that let's keep Aaron. You're that close. You've done what you've done. I know Alan Lazard missed a fair chunk of the end of the season. But I just think you need that sort of that game changer, sort of really take the top off sort of wide receiver. Okay, I'm adding another guy that has the drops. They already have a couple of those. But I just feel that Will Fuller might be that sort of upgrade that this offense needs just to take them that one step further.
I like it. And it's ironic that, if this actually happens, it will be ironic that there seemed to be the opportunity and the impetus for Green Bay to do this last year. Imagine how that would have helped their 2020 campaign if they'd made that happen. If it was even a thing, but it sort of seemed like it was.
Especially with the year that Aaron Rodgers had.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if you had to give him a top line wide, with just one more guy besides Devontae. I don't know what Devontae Adams, share is of the offense.
The devil's advocate on that is you wouldn't have wanted Will Fuller last year because he wouldn't have helped.
Oh, yeah.
So,
good point.
Like,
year.
I was going to say,
go ahead.
He's going to miss the first 2 weeks, isn't he? Because of his suspension.
Yeah, first 2 games. He was one of the guys touted at the trade deadline, and I don't know. It was like maybe the Packers had some good inside information from the league about what was potentially coming. I don't know, but it was all of these sort of news reports. It was like Will Fuller is available for the right team in a position to make a play. And it's like, who needs a wide receiver? The team that drafted a quarterback in the first rounds and a running back in the second and a tight end who doesn't play. Maybe the Green Bay Packers, but it just didn't happen. Maybe they do it now.
Yeah, but the thing about Will Fuller too, I don't know if it's not so much he was taking it for the fact that it makes him a better football player. I think he's taking it for the fact that he was always injured. So maybe that's what,
Best business decision he ever made.
Yes.
Isn't it? It's also interesting looking back because I remember seeing so many mock drafts and having Justin Jefferson go to the Packers. And obviously there's some guys in this room who are very happy that didn't happen for numerous reasons. And how big a difference would that have made? Oh my goodness! Not saying the Cuz isn't a good quarterback, but he's no A-Rod. I mean, honestly, he's okay. He's okay.
I think you can say he's not a good quarterback.
Okay,
Ben can say it for us.
Yeah.
let's move on.
In a world of terrible quarterbacks, he's above average.
The only thing I'll say is, as a Vikings fan, I will miss, if they sign Will Fuller, I will miss the every game Aaron Rodgers stare at Marcus Valdes-Scantling when he drops a 70-yard pass. So that's my only sad thing.
Hey, mate, Will Fuller hasn't had the greatest set of hands either.
No.
So that stare might still be there. Okay, on the clock we have the Titans.
Oh, it's me, and this is my last one.
Sorry, can we just get a count of all of the teams left? Have you included all my teams? Or
we are exactly halfway.
I've had one pick.
So that's two between us.
Okay, let's move along.
We're halfway. We're halfway, so I'll keep it moving.
All right.
Now I'm very tempted. Oh, look, considering this guy's still on the board, I'm very tempted to kind of change my order, but I won't. I'll go with what I've got. Because the Titans have a few needs. Obviously, they're going to be losing some offensive talent with Corey Davis and what?
Sorry, it's okay.
What's wrong with Corey Davis?
He's okay.
He's okay. Listen,
He's okay.
they're losing
He's okay.
their number 2 wide receiver, and they're losing Jonnu Smith. So, that's going to make some holes for them. And they're projected. Actually, I will change what I'm going to pick because
Corey Davis is a good wide receiver.
I reckon he is.
He's got a great set of hands, but he's
taken a little bit longer to come on, G, but I reckon he's all right.
He has.
So they're projected to take Jalen Phillips, a defensive end out of Miami. So I'm going to pivot here because I was thinking of going edge, and I could go edge, but I'm going to go and grab Juju Smith-Schuster for the Titans because I think that, Smith-Schuster can, if they're losing Jonnu Smith, and I just said how Jonnu wasn't targeted that much, but if they're losing Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis, well, Juju can play on the outside and he can also play that inside role. So he can.
They released Adam Humphries as well, their slot receiver. So they have a need.
They do have a desperate need.
And he's not the number one guy. The biggest problem I have with Juju, he's not a number one receiver.
Yeah. So if he's opposite AJ Brown, that could actually work quite well.
Yeah.
Enough said. I wrote down, he caught 97 passes, which was ninth most in the NFL, but he averaged 8.6 yards per catch, which is third lowest amongst wide receivers who caught 50 passes in 2020. So,
and just grow up, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, I think that being in a situation where he's not seen as the top dog, he can kind of relax a little bit and settle into a number 2 wide receiver role and really flourish. So, there you go, Juju.
It's quite weird. Like someone like Juju Smith-Schuster is someone that my son would really like because he's sort of like that sort of, not that he's immature, but he, danced on the 50-yard line on the team logo, all that stuff. And, that's what the young kids like. But there comes a point where, dude, you got to stop doing.
Yeah, it's like cut it out now.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Show me the money. He's one of those guys. That is all he is.
Yeah.
Okay, on the clock we have the Raiders.
Raiders, here we go. So the Raiders, me.
Oh.
The Raiders in the mock, so many needs after they released all their free agents that they've signed over the last couple of years since the Maycock era. But look, they're not flush with cap either, so I did kind of take that into account. And the mock draft has them going with linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah out of Notre Dame, who is a bit of an all-rounder guy, can do a bit of everything, can come up at the line and drop in the coverage as well. So an obvious need there at linebacker. So I stayed away from that. Now, there was a couple of guys here that look, there's two that I'm gonna pitch, and I'm gonna pick obviously one. The obvious one is they need pass rush, and to go alongside Max Crosby, who kind of took a step back after a pretty good rookie year. But I just think Bud Dupree makes a lot of sense here for them, just like a established guy who's just got one job and is just going to ball. And, you know, in that division, we've talked about already, you know, what they're up against in terms of quarterbacks. So that makes sense. The one that I'm going to throw in there, though, is just someone who I could just see them go off and go for no reason apart from the fact that he's a gadget that they could use. And that's Curtis Samuel. I think Curtis Samuel could be a guy who, you know, the Raiders just think he's a flashy little toy that we can put alongside Josh Jacobs, you know, in the run game. Yeah, you know, let's just give him the ball like all the other guys we draft and don't give the ball to enough.
I was just going to say, almost like they envisioned what they were going to do with Lynn Bowden before they traded him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like they seem to make bad decisions and then try replace it with another bad decision. So look, it would be a complete luxury pick, and I think I might just stick with Bud Dupree because you know I don't want to be as stupid as John Gruden and Mike Maycock. So
that feels like a Raiders pick to me.
Yeah.
Dupree, I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
give a huge contract to a guy whose knee will never be the same again. Peak Raiders.
ACLs are
I know, I'm only teasing.
they're like tennis elbow these days, aren't they?
Give them 6 week rest, bit of ice, you're good to go.
Be fine. You know what they need? They need to get that bloody spray that they use in like that soccer stuff. You know, when the guys go down after just
The pain away spray. Yeah, absolutely. Or go
Magic sponge.
Magic sponge, yeah,
Magic
Neil's on
sponge,
it.
yeah. Go spend a month with A-Rod down in Florida. Get yourself some biogenesis. You're good to go.
I imagine there's a nice healthy bucket of Magic sponge at your school there, Neil. To be honest.
Yeah.
Moving on, next pick.
Next pick, we have the 49ers.
Oh, it's me again. From, I guess from one side of the bay to, well, not really the bay anymore. It's Santa Clara. My feelings about the Niners have truly been known across this pod over the last year. I still don't know how
the Raiders aren't across the bay anymore, Ben.
Well, that's true, but yeah.
As well.
Yeah,
Wait
they're
a minute,
both.
are you
They're both sold out.
saying you're
let's say
not
that.
a fan of some of the things that have happened here?
Maybe, Neil, maybe. Look, I think he's made a mess of the roster, to be honest, with particularly with free agency stuff. And so sorry, let's start with the mock draft. They are trading up with the Broncos, which they traded up with last year, to select Mac Jones, quarterback, who won a national championship. And we've everybody seems to think Jimmy G's never going to be the quarterback for the Niners again, although he will probably trot out there on the opening day. So I'm not going to talk about quarterbacks. All their 6 corners that played last year are all in free agency. They've got 0 corners. Another classic John Lynch bit of action. They also
That's
they've got
amazing, isn't it, Ben? That a whole squad of a position is up for free agency.
Yeah, and I mean to be honest, they gambled on a few guys like Sherman, and that kind of did actually work out for them. Like, you know, they got them to a Super Bowl, and they were pretty unlucky in that. But yeah, I mean, it was always a quick fix, I think, for the defense while they just stockpiled talent on the defensive line. But look, they've got Jimmy Ward at free safety, but Jaquiski Tart, who again is a guy that I just haven't liked for a while, and I just don't think offers what the Niners need. And I think with the new defensive coordinator, obviously Robert Saleh out of the building, he'll want playmakers, and they'll try mask that secondary again. So I'm going to go for Keanu Neal from the Falcons. One, I think this fits in with the general history of the Niners picking players whose body parts aren't exactly going to last more than a year or two. But they've got talent, and they're guys who, could potentially, if they get it right, a la Jason Verrett, who had a good year last year when he was on the field. And just thinking about it, like Keanu Neal tore his Achilles in 19, which is a horrible injury and very tough to come back for, but played 917 snaps last year, the most out of the Falcons safety, and looks like he's on the road to recovery. So he could be a cheap option there at safety who provides an upside straight away. So I'm going to say Keanu Neal. I think, obviously, Trent Williams they traded for, and he's gone, obviously, and they might still work something out there with him, but that's unlikely at this stage, I think. So, yeah, Keanu Neal.
And, of course, the Shanahan connection.
Absolutely, yeah. So, knowledge of what they're doing there, and just a guy who makes plays as well, which the Niners love.
The guy that ran the offense and a
defensive back. Yeah, I know, but it's a.
Well, that's why I was going to ask.
They broke bread.
I was going to ask G. I was going to ask G because
I didn't even know he was a free agent.
And there's a Cowboys connection now, so they're talking about him possibly going to the Cowboys. So I was interested in G's thoughts on him.
No, I think what AJ was saying was that Shanahan and Keanu Neal both checked out at halftime of the Super Bowl together. So they were pretty happy.
Yeah.
Keanu's a baller, man. Him at the Cowboys would be fantastic.
The problem with Neal is the fact that he overshoots too much. Like, he's so aggressive that he's like,
I wish I knew about that problem.
He's one step ahead of where he's meant to be, if you know what I mean.
To the detriment of his body.
And not just that, to the detriment of the fact that the guy that he's meant to be tackling is in a different position already.
Yeah. What is it with guys named Keanu being overly aggressive? Jeez.
The Matrix. Okay, on the clock we have the Ravens.
That's Andrew. Yay!
Hey!
Hang on, I'll have to get my my background.
You should have this ready. Come on, mate.
Come on, mate. We haven't got all
I had nothing else to do. Fuck's sake, Andrew.
There we go. Nice.
I can't even find my hat. Hang on. I got my
Yes, I love it.
Right now,
all right.
I think my Ravens are okay. I've got the Cardinals, and they're basically going to be picking up no one at this point. But the Ravens are looking okay. So the Ravens have got $9.2 million in the salary cap apparently, which is going all right. So obviously, with your quarterback still not on his extension yet, which they'll presumably sign him up to sometime in the next couple of months, but obviously won't kick into next year. So they're all right salary cap wise, which is good at this time of year. In the mock draft, they've got them getting Therese Mitchell Jr., wide receiver. So obviously, whether or not you actually think that's a good pick for the Ravens is really kind of up to what you think of the Ravens, really. Basically, looking they could do with some help on the offensive line on the interior a bit. Exterior too on the right-hand side with their right tackle looking to move on. But probably at this stage, I'd probably be looking at an edge rusher because edge rusher seems to be where we've still got a fair bit of value left. So on my list, I can see Trey Hendrickson, I can see Carl Lawson, I can see Clowney, who I don't really rate too much, and then the hard name to say, Ngakoue.
Clowney's a Cowboys.
Nailed it.
He's a Cowboys pick, mate. He got Cowboys written all over him.
Oh, I won't be too impressed if he goes to the Cowboys, but nevertheless, I might go Carl Lawson. I reckon he's got a bit of upside, and he was looking pretty good this year. So I think probably getting someone at the Ravens like that might be helpful. So I might chuck him in.
That's that, and especially with the pick that Todd McShay's also put it at the Baltimore Ravens in how do you pronounce his name? Therese Marshall Jr. out of LSU. I've done like 30 odd wide receivers. I've looked at so far, and he was like the third guy I looked at, and for some reason, he kept like dropping below the guys that I kept looking at. I don't know if he's the type of guy that to go to the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know. I don't think a wide receiver. I don't.
No, and like I think I was listening to Memphis the other day talking about it, and I think he mentioned something. You know, they throw 27 times a game, so like they're not a massive throwing team. So, you know, there's a lot of argument out there saying their wide receivers are bad, but there's also not the ball sort of there to be caught. So you can only catch what's thrown your way, really.
Yeah.
They need a tight end.
Or not catch it as Hollywood Brownies want to do as well. So
yes. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's me. The Colts.
The Colts.
Yeah, that's me. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I think when Eric Fisher was released by the Chiefs, the Colts were laughing all the way to the bank. Like, they've got the money. 8 years in the NFL, one of the best left tackles around. They need a left tackle. He's still only 30. Plenty of tread on the tires there. Who knows who the quarterback's going to be in Indianapolis this year? That could be something that I would have maybe addressed here as well.
Do we not know that?
Do we not know?
They went and got their guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like so the next quarterback they might. Sorry, I should have prefaced that by saying that they were mocked Gregory Rousseau, defensive end Miami. So like they've got their quarterback sorted out. They've got their defensive end. It's unlikely they're going to address either of those positions. So yeah, left tackle for me, Eric Fisher. Let's sign him up for the next few years and protect them.
Boom, done.
Nice, very nice.
With the need to fill with Costanzo, Anthony Costanzo retiring, and I like it.
Okay,
very good.
Cowboys, that's me. Cowboys plus 20 points.
Cowboys.
Needs O-tackle, offensive tackle, cornerback, linebacker, and edge. The drafting, according to Todd McShay, Patrick Surtain II from Alabama. So at the moment, look, I only go. They really could do with an edge guy. Who have we got? Shaq Barrett's gone. Bud Dupree's gone. They're all gone. I said Clowney is. He has got Cowboys. Like
bring him back to Texas.
Written all over him. Like this is such a Cowboys thing. I could just see it happening. But mate, what they really need, a linebacker. We've got Sean Lee, who's 34 this year. Leighton Vander Esch, who's a constant injury risk.
He's got disability parking, doesn't he, Leighton Vander Esch?
He probably does. Right out the front. Like, it's a car park. That's what you don't want as a football player. So I'm going to go and get him out of Tennessee. He's 26 years old.
Very nice.
I'm going to go and get him Jayon Brown. And slot him right in there, and take mate. He can be on the field the whole time, and you can just use Vander Esch or Sean Lee just to spell him when he needs a bit of a break and a bit of a Gatorade.
Dude, he'll play 100%.
Yeah,
and
done.
you've got him. You got Jalen Smith and Jayon Brown next to each other. Oh boy, that's some combination. Yeah. And you need Vander Esch to be playing like 50% of snaps, and that he'll stay healthy then.
Andrew, you happy with that?
I'm very happy. I don't understand why people are saying that they need a offensive tackle, because they've just restructured both offensive tackles, which to me says they're going to be around for the next year or two anyway. So I think realistically, the amount of money that the Cowboys have invested in their left and right tackle, they kind of need to hope that they're going to be healthy at a good time of year. So I think, Tyron Smith, when he's healthy, is one of the best left tackles around. It's just that health is a question. So I think you try and aim to make the playoffs and nurse him through the season and then make sure that he's good to go for the playoffs. I think that's really their only option. I don't think they can afford, unless they're looking at a swing tackle in maybe round 2 or round 3. I don't think the outside of the offensive line is going to be where they're going to be looking early.
So you'd be happy with that pick then?
I would be very.
Yeah, but gee, you're forgetting, like, for all your smartness there and your well-rounded decision making, and a clear need. You're forgetting that the defensive coordinator is Dan Quinn, who will make a stupid decision and probably sign someone like Anthony Harris for 5 years, 50 million.
Nah, G's still got Stockholm syndrome. He's only got fond memories.
We didn't run the ball. Okay, it wasn't his fault. We didn't run the ball.
It was his fault.
It is because the last decisions, up to him, obviously. But
I would have just loved you to have made this pick from a boat. I mean, if that wouldn't have been too much to ask.
Oh, dude, don't. I had to Google his boat. Man,
it's not a boat; it's a fucking hotel on water, isn't it?
It sucks to have money, man. It sucks to have money. He made
Did you hear that?
room. It was as big as my house.
They went off. They went off there for like a couple of months mid-year to get away from COVID. And they just all jumped on the boat. I thought you could have the whole family on the boat. Doing
Is that
all
where the
business
Dallas
decisions.
defense went? They were all on the boat with Jerry.
All right. Up we have the Bucks.
Oh, that's me. Defending Super Bowl champions. We got Todd McShay giving them Jamin Davis, inside linebacker. Now they've already re-signed Levante David. They slapped the tag on Godwin. I've snapped up Shaq Barrett earlier on, who's deserving of a big contract to the Chargers. So there's a few different ways to go here. They do have a need at pass rush, but I just think the way they play, and they've got a couple of great pass rushers, at least at linebacker with Levante David and Devin White, who can just really get after it as well. They've got wide receivers with Godwin under the tag, Mike Evans. I really like Tyler Johnson and Scott Miller as well. I do think they'll bring Antonio Brown back, although he's not going to be my pick. Probably an unsexy pick, but given his contribution, he's going to be cheap to bring back. Let's keep this crew together and roll it on back. And I'm just going to bring in Ndamukong Suh back to be a defensive lineman and continue to rush to be a pass rusher on the interior there. He's going to be a cheap contract for this team. Let's bring it back and push for another Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's playing. He's just topping up his pension now, isn't he?
So
1 year deals at a time.
Yeah, man,
that's absolutely fine. No state income tax in Florida. We can talk to him. Hey, you're going to win. We'll bet you some nice guaranteed money up front. Maybe a signing bonus, 2-year contract, a fake 2-year contract. We can spread it over a couple of years. Bring that dirty son of a bitch back, and let's go stop some quarterbacks.
No income tax, South Beach, in the off season, like
yeah. So the problem, if any of you pick Gronk, is he's going to retire immediately. Because we already know he's only playing for one quarterback, and that's Tom Brady. So we already got him in the bank. That's a bit of a cheap pick for me. Backdoor Rob Gronkowski. We know if no other team's going to try to sign him. So we got Gronk in the bank. No one else wants the liability of Antonio Brown. He's coming back. He's Tom Brady's roommate. So we're keeping the band together, and we're getting Ndamukong Suh back as well.
Rob Gronkowski and backdoor.
All
right, I like it. No, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
I saw this news drop today.
It's a sensible pick, Lewis. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It does
Not
make
flashy.
sense. Dave's just put up here. The Texans have signed Mark Ingram. Why? But anyway.
Okay.
That's news.
3 million as well, I think.
Dave's saying 3 million. 3 million.
We have the Colts.
Who's
the Colts?
No, the Colts have been done.
I was going to say, Mark Ingram's got compromising pictures of Easterby. It's the only reasonable explanation.
Colts have been done.
Yeah. Ben did the Colts. We got 2 Colts.
No.
Yeah, 2 Colts in there.
Oh, no.
Okay, we have
It's not meant to be the Cards.
WFT. It's almost
Washington football team. That's me.
Sounds like the other thing.
I looked at it first and going, what the?
But that's also quite appropriate. But anyway, sorry,
works.
who is it?
It's me. So
Ben.
obviously, who the hell's going to quarterback this team is probably one thing that we need to talk about here. But also in the draft, the mock draft, they have Kadarius Toney, Florida wide receiver, who I love. I don't know if you got to him yet, G, but this
To
guy
everybody, mate.
is, he really looks like a guy who will sit next to Terry McLaurin and just like
And
be a
yeah.
baller for this team. So he looks good. But anyway, Kenny Golladay, I thought about here might be an option, but he's gone. Jonnu Smith, I thought might be an option. Line up with him and Logan Thomas, but sod it. Let's throw the ball. Jameis Winston. Let's get him on a contract and throw the ball to Terry McLaurin
Let's
every
go.
single time. Let's just do it. Let's every single down. Just do it. Just throw Terry the ball.
Watch
So
the
who'd you
world burn.
Winston.
Oh, Winston.
I love it.
Yeah.
30 for 30. Love it.
If you haven't heard, he's got LASIK. He's good to go.
Man, he's a quarterback who deserves to get a gig.
I don't know.
He
if,
does.
I don't know if Tooney's the right guy for Jameis because he's a little bit short. I know that's more Cam Newton, isn't it? That needs a 6'6".
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, nice.
like it. Okay.
Love that pick.
Quick picks. The cards.
Hey!
Oh,
Right.
that was
Good.
fast.
Like Christmas.
Please.
I'm getting better. I'm organising this stuff. I'm all sorted. I'm like, bang! The minute I hear it, I'm good to go. Now the problem is the cards are pretty good as far as having a pretty even roster. So they've got 18 million cap space still. Once again, rookie contract for your quarterback helps there. They've got them picking JC Horn, cornerback. So I guess probably at this point I would still like them if I was them to get another cornerback, but the cornerback market is pretty thin. As mentioned there, probably a running back would be good, but I kind of feel like we're sort of running short on running backs as well. So I would probably look at sorry.
Todd Gurley's available.
I think getting another weapon probably is good for the offense. So I'm thinking probably looking at two guys, but presuming that Fitzgerald comes back, I might give them Hunter Henry and give them a better tight end than Dan Arnold, who
I thought you're going to go that way.
Mate,
Nice.
When was the last time Arizona had a tight end? Like a tight end. I mean, not just the position. I mean, like had a tight end.
Good question.
I can't.
Safarian Jenkins.
I know. Isn't like Larry Fitzgerald's 100% retired though, isn't he?
Is he?
I thought he was done.
I'm not sure.
Is that just me? Did I dream that? Did I have a dream about Larry Fitzgerald?
Yeah, he's not done yet.
I don't think he's done.
He's the same as Drew.
Really?
He's not done either.
No.
Oh, right. So JJ Watt might help bring back another washed wide receiver. Awesome.
Don't ever.
Sorry, Larry.
Use his name in vain like that, mate.
No, I genuinely thought he retired, but that'd be cool if he does run it back. So, that's fair.
Yeah, so I would probably be looking at either Curtis Samuel there, or I think Hunter Henry for me is the one to see if they actually use a tight end.
That actually, I think, could be quite a good
makes
fit.
sense. Yeah, I like that pick.
Get vertical. I like it.
Yeah, they hadn't had a tight end.
Can't-
I'm seriously trying to think
I can't
of
think
when
of one.
the Cardinals had a tight end. Like there was a lot of hype about Ricky Seals-Jones, wasn't there? Like after that sort of
Yes. Yeah.
little bit of
Yeah.
a breakout, and then that.
But all their tight ends recently have just been converted wide receivers. Like Ricky Seals-Jones wasn't. Jermaine Gresham, wasn't he converted wide receiver? Or was he tight end in college as well? Maybe he's a tight end. But Dan Arnold was a wide receiver. There's a few.
What they probably need is a tight end sitting on the top of another tight end's shoulders, so that Kyler Murray can throw it
Wearing
above the
Larry
offensive
Fitzgerald's uniform.
line, like a 45-degree angle catch radius.
That's my biggest concern with Kyler Murray. Is that if he doesn't get out of the pocket, he can't throw the ball to anybody. But then again, okay, that's just unless you just sort of like do little lobs. Okay, Jets. I've got the Jets. Who's got the New York Jets? Come
Who's
on.
the Jets? Hey!
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
but
can we sort this
background,
order out? Because
background.
Andrew's having too many picks at the moment. This is unacceptable.
Background, Andrew, there you go.
So, the good thing about the Jets is you can pretty much pick anyone. So, as you guys have been picking names, I haven't really been concerned because the list of people they got $67 million in cap space, so they can pick anyone except. Yeah, spoiler alert, they won't be picking a quarterback because they have them in the mock draft picking Zach Wilson at number 2. Right. So they've got Zach Wilson, and then with the Seahawks pick, they're picking up, what's his name? Azeez Ojulari, the outside linebacker. So apart from that, you can pretty much, throw something at the wall and say pick anyone. So I'm thinking if I'm the Jets, I'm not competing for the next few years. So I'm sort of basically, I said, okay, no one over 26 is my cutoff. No point getting someone who's 28, 29. They're not going to be playing.
Yeah, I
well
like
done.
that. I've been using that theory as well. Keep them young.
So I think I might use the guy that I was just talking about. I might give them Curtis Samuel and see what they can do with that offense. Give a young quarterback another sort of pick. I feel like they've got a left tackle that they don't have to worry about. So they could probably do with some more work on the line, but I think another wide receiver would probably help them because, apart from Mims, and I think Crowder's out of contract, isn't he? So I think it's Mims and no one at this stage. So, we'll go Curtis Samuel.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right.
I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Jason Fitzgerald at Over the Cap did a free agency. I think it was like a success rate over the last sort of 4 years, and the Jets were on the far right, at the bottom right of that graph, on most money spent and the least percentage of contracts completed in that 4 years, which is just phenomenal.
I mean, my favorite things they did was when they signed Kelechi Osemele and he needed surgery, and the Jets wouldn't let him get surgery. And that was a whole thing. It was just like only the Jets could be like, hey, we really need offensive lineman. He's hurt, but we also don't want him to get surgery either. It's just like, what is going on there?
Yeah, mate, medical bills stack up pretty quickly in the States. That's a lot of coin you're forking out. The Jets had the third most cap space at 69,800,000 roughly. Number 3, how are they not at the top? How are they not the top team? Like, they suck. How are they not at the top? They should have like 100 mil in cap space. I just
CJ Mosley probably has something to do with that, I imagine.
Oh yes.
Yes, he probably
Could be one of their highest paid
players. If it wasn't for CJ Mosley, they'd be at the top.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay,
Good job he's held out.
The Jags, who have the most cap space at 200,009.
Yeah, that's me, Jacksonville. A lot of team needs going on here. Obviously, they have the number 1 overall pick, which, unless some insanity happens, is going to be Trevor Lawrence, their quarterback of the future. They also have the Los Angeles Rams first-round pick at 25, which, according to Mr. McShay, is going to be Trayvon Merrick as a safety out of TCU. Okay, fine, but we're gonna go with that. We're going to accept that. There's a few different ways I could go here. Now, they do need work on the offensive line, as does everyone, but they have Robinson, who they franchise tagged. Last year, they got themselves a very good cornerback in CJ Henderson. I'm going to add to that. And I think he's going to project and be a true number 1 cornerback. And I'm going to bring in some reinforcements at the cornerback position of someone who I think is very good, does get burned, has been burned, especially on when he was playing for the Eagles. He was a nice guy. He used to target in DFS all the time because he just couldn't hang with those number 1 guys. But one of my guys out of Florida State, let's bring him back to Florida, Ronald Darby. Go and get Ronald Darby, bring him in and play as your cornerback to shore up that secondary. And, we talked a lot about age. He's still very, very young. He's only 27 years old.
How is he only 27 years old? How?
I know.
He's
I know.
like,
I don't remember.
yeah.
Ronald Darby was elite at Florida State. He came out young. He was absolutely sensational. One of the best cornerbacks in college. Unfortunately, he's played on some bad teams and he's drawn number one duties against some absolute monsters at wide receiver. And that's just the way it goes. But we could bring him in as our number 2 cornerback, give him a nice long deal, bring him into his 30s. Let's talk to him about that state income tax, bring his money down a little bit, even though it's not a concern for the Jags. But, let's be stingy here. We've got a football team in Fulham to run as well, so we can't be spending all the cash we've got, and we've got to relocate this franchise over to the UK in a couple of years as well. So there's a lot of considerations for Jacksonville in terms of monetary expenditure, which is probably why they're holding back on the cap. But in all seriousness, though, we've got a great quarterback. We've got a couple of wide receivers in Chark and LaVisca. Offensive line is okay. I won't lie, I probably would have gone.
Quarterback, you don't want a Ryan Leaf on your hands, do you?
I might have gone Hunter Henry if he was still available. I thought he would have been a nice little weapon, but let's shore up this secondary. We're getting a safety in the draft. We've got a couple of cornerbacks, and let's see how we go.
Go Everton.
Okay. We've only got 3 more teams.
3 to go, and the Pats are next up, and that's me. So the Pats have plus $70.1 million, which
Wow.
I think would put them at the top. No, second behind the Jags by $80,000. Was it $800,000? No, $80,000. So they're going to draft linebacker Micah Parsons out of Penn State.
Micah Parsons.
Is it Micah Parsons? Thanks, AJ.
Well, I believe so.
Micah Parsons. Well, you're the defensive guy, so I'll take your word for it. Geez, they need tight end, wide receiver, quarterback. That's not good for your offense, is it?
And just quietly,
we need everything.
From a fantasy perspective, it'd be hard to get excited about Micah Parsons at the Patriots.
Yeah, well, they had a few guys opt out for the 2020 season, didn't they?
I mean, Lewis, you'd be very happy, obviously, but yeah, fantasy wise.
Oh, Lewis is a Pats fan.
Yeah,
I am a Pats fan. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know. So okay, so you're going to critique who I take here. So look, I'm not really worried about the defense. We got a few guys coming back who opted
Hightower.
out. Yeah, who opted out. And who was the other one? Safety and linebacker. Who? Yeah, Hightower. Who's the other one who opted out?
Chung opted out, didn't he?
Yeah, Chung. That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he opted out to do a whole bunch more cocaine.
Well, if you get a blocked nose, it makes it very difficult.
Well, we can't smell anything with COVID. Let's try and fix it up.
He's already on the record as saying he's not worried about that either.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to try and stay on the offense. Oh, geez. I looked at.
I'm sorry to chip in here.
Quarterback because there's nobody available in the quarterback market at the moment. Nobody that Bill Belichick would want playing for him on the free agency scene anyway, because there's talk about the Jimmy G thing. So it's either wide receiver or tight end, and Jonas Smith is gone. Hunter Henry's gone, so we can say goodbye to the tight end position. Is Corey Davis gone? Is he still available?
Still available. The disrespect.
Like, I had Kenny Golladay down there. But really, who wants to go, like, as a wide receiver, do you really want to go to the Patriots? Like, we don't know who the quarterback is.
Not at the moment.
Like, seriously, if Bill rang up a manager of a player of a wide receiver and said, "Hey, look, wouldn't you just hang the phone up?" Sorry, look, but you would, wouldn't you? You just
It's been bad. It's been bad, and this is a difficult situation. I mean, getting Micah Parsons on the defensive side, like, this doesn't help the Patriots at all, right? Our defense is fine. Obviously, you need to keep refreshing and bringing bodies in. I get that, but we need to address the quarterback position. And hot take. I know he looked washed at certain times last year, but I wouldn't be opposed to running it back one more time with Cam Newton.
Touchdowns for the whole season's not looking washed. Yeah, mate, you're fine. You're fine. You're good. You're good.
I would bring Cam Newton back. I wouldn't, let's maybe get him a wide receiver, someone who can get open. Because, when your primary receivers are Jacoby Myers and Damiere Byrd and the ghost of Julian Edelman for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, what can you...
Why would you...
Who
Why would you want to win games, Lewis? Why would you want to win games as a Patriots fan next year? Like, this was the year that was meant to be, tank for Trevor. We get ourselves in a position so that we can...
Anyone who thought Bill Belichick was orchestrating tank for Trevor should put on Andrew's see-through brains hat, because that man is a born winner, and all he cares about is winning. There's no such thing as tanking intentionally with Bill Belichick. There's just no way that was ever going to happen.
Yeah,
but he's now in a situation.
I don't know if I think Bill Belichick is a very, very shrewd. And look, he's proved to be a very shrewd man.
Yeah.
And I think he understands the fact that, yes, I'm a winner and I want to, but I understand too that if my team's not that great for the next couple of years and I can build it up to where I want to go again, I'm willing to do that. I don't need to win at all costs all the time. I can give this thing away for a couple of years to build up another team.
But he's not been shrewd at the quarterback position, because after, he traded away Jimmy Garoppolo, who was a second-round pick, and didn't really replace him. And then he let Tom Brady walk, which, let's look at how that situation looks when he's got a couple of years deal in Tampa. Not saying that he would have won the Super Bowl with the Patriots last year, but however, he would have at least been, affordable, way affordable. Like, they've got $70 million in the cap. So what was that decision all about? They've not spent it anywhere else. So I agree with Lewis. Like, they have to address that position. They can't, like, who are they going to address it with in the free agency? Nobody.
This was the hardest team, Ben, to pick a free agent.
Trade? Would he trade? I don't know.
I mean, he loves a trade. He loves a trade down. Don't get me wrong. I think the Patriots could. We've been awarded multiple, yet again, compensatory picks. They love to game that formula. I can totally see him trading down. A lot of teams want to. When everyone wants to zig, Bill Belichick zags. I just know I'm expecting another season of difficult. So please, everyone, feel sorry for me and other Patriots fans. It's going to be a difficult year for us yet again. It's going to be another difficult year. But yeah, very tough pick. So where have you landed?
Mate, I had Corey Davis, I had Kenny Golladay to help out the wide receiver position. I don't, with Keanu Neal and who you have available. What have you got? You've got Edelman. Like, how much can one person absorb in one position? Like I said before when we started the pod, 4 hours ago, is the fact that, mate, the guys that play the slot position, especially Edelman, mate, I have so much respect for someone that gets hammered every time you catch the ball. I don't mean just tackled, I mean hammered. And he's, what is he? He must be 30. Geez, he must be 32.
He's 33. You think he's about 33 now, something like that. And
mate, he's got
a lot of serious injuries, a lot of surgeries in the last couple of years.
The poundage, he must have the poundage of a 6-year-old, person that's lived a normal life, or a hard life anyway. You got N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers. You probably need somebody else. I really wanted to put Kenny Golladay there. Look, I'll shit.
You're gonna go Corey Davis.
I'm gonna have to go, but I think Corey Davis. I think he's the type of guy that might actually work in that. In like, you get in here, this is what you do. I'm gonna do it. That sort of guy. He's sort of, he doesn't cause any trouble. He's never done that for Tennessee with
No.
Do I think he's the best receiver? No. I think he's capable. I don't think he's going to a better situation at the Patriots than he had at the Tennessee. But mate, I honestly don't know who else to give you. I don't want to give anybody to the the defense because I don't think you need it. I think it's all on the offense. But it's one of those things I don't think that you're going anywhere. And I think just anybody that wants to go to New England at the moment is just you're going to be in this, 8-8 for the next couple of years.
8-8 sounds perfect for Marcus Mariota.
No, yeah, but you know what I mean, though. You sort of go. It's like going to the Falcons.
I'll give you our 4th round compensatory pick for Marcus Mariota right now.
I'll give you Corey Davis, but I really
like it.
don't know who to give you. I just don't.
No, look. We need receivers. I'll be honest. I really like Corey Davis. He's a former 1st round pick. He's definitely flashed.
Marvin Jones at the end of his career, maybe he can go there and teach these younger guys how to be a wide receiver. I don't know. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need a teacher more than you actually need someone who's going to produce on the football field.
I just don't think there's anyone to teach.
It's
going to be like one of those pandemic photos of the teacher sat in the classroom with absolutely nobody there.
Like everybody spoke about how like he does this with quarterbacks. He drafts a quarterback every year and he builds them up and then he flogs them off. And all of a sudden you've got nobody. So how well has that worked out for you?
It will be Pete Belichick if he can get Jimmy G back. We've just done it with Trent Brown. Yeah, we'll see. But Corey Davis, we'll take it.
Okay, so mate, that's the best I can do, and I know it sucks, and it was a really but all right. I really don't know.
Keep moving, G.
Time. Okay, sorry. Okay, next up is the Lions.
Me.
Sounding thrilled with this pick.
And you're excited too.
Come on, dude. We've only been going for 4 hours.
It's the place where...
Interestingly,
this is becoming like a Josh Rogan podcast. This is
given that the Pats and the Lions are like basically at the end of the list. I think that kind of mirrors reality because I think they're kind of the two of the least appealing.
Mate, seriously, I should have bought a joint.
Landing spots.
We've been going so long that my back.
I need a joint.
We've been going so long. Andrew literally just logged off.
Ground's crashed. I can't fix it.
Yeah, go on, Neil. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
They just want to save money, so Detroit's going to either be like a last chance or a money grab for a free agent. You're going to go there if you have no other option. They've been. They have been. They've been mocked to draft probably my favorite wide receiver in the whole draft in Jamar Chase. So at least the fans have got that to get excited about.
What a waste. He's my number one, Neil. He's my number one.
Yeah, mine too. So I looked at this like they don't want to spend money. They want to save future money. Maybe they take a gamble and grab a Marlon Mack or something since Adrian Peterson's retired and they want to have someone there so Swift doesn't just get hammered every week. But I haven't gone for that. I'm going to select Forrest Lamp, who's a guard. He was with Anthony Lynn, who's one of their new coaches at the Chargers. He's solid in the passing game. He's allowed just 2 sacks. Like they need, like if they're going to roll with Goff, then they have to protect him. So they probably need to get better there. So yeah, Forrest Lamp for connections to the coaches and because they probably just want to make sure Goff stays alive, even if they don't win games.
Mate, if I was the Lions, I'd be trading every pick this year and just go, mate, let's just try and get a heap for the next couple of years. Let's just forget about the next.
They need to a full Cleveland Browns. Let's go full Sashi Brown and trade everything over and over and over again.
Let's just man, geez, if you're a free agent now, they're another one. You tell your manager if the Lions call, just hang up. Just hang up the phone. I'd rather not.
You play on a terrible team and you have to live in Detroit. It's a double whammy.
It's shrinking all the time because everybody keeps moving out. That was a tough one too, Neil. Was to get the Lions. Like it's just, yeah. Sorry, Jerry. Yeah.
Jerry and Matty.
Sorry, dude.
By the way, I will say Adrian Peterson hasn't retired. He said he wants to play till he's at least 40 because he's motivated. He's also
He's
like
broke.
balls deep in debt. Yeah, that man owes everyone so much money. My
But
goodness.
he's a free agent as well, isn't he?
I mean, you could have run it back, Neil.
Not sure if he
Yeah.
is. How is that possible? How is it possible that he's in debt? That's ridiculous.
I don't know. You be asked
Let
the
me
same
ex-
question.
yeah.
How was Mike
Let me
Tyson
explain
in
to you a
debt
lack
and
of
he made
education
hell
and
of
head trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
court cases.
Yeah.
Well, we've only got one left.
The
G.
one.
Who's that?
Oh.
We should
Hey, I'm
let's
guessing.
just wrap it up here. Yeah, we're done. Yeah,
Who can guess who the last one is?
Ben, you got another pick?
No,
Yeah,
not me.
Bears.
There we go. The Bears.
Except
The Bears.
I can't fix my background because you guys have ruined it. You've talked too long, so I don't know what's going on. But so this is probably actually quite interesting because they're minus 23 million on salary cap.
Oof.
The draft's got them taking Christian Darrisaw, so offensive tackle. So if they're taking someone else, I'd probably be looking at Mitchell Schwartz to try and chuck him on the offensive line. Obviously, quarterback would be good, but if Jameis was there, maybe go Jameis. But it's like who do you go? Do you go Fitzmagic? Do you go Cam Newton, or do you run it back with Trubisky? It's as far as the Chicago Bears, it's kind of a tough kind of area now. So
We left the worst three to last. Just how it came out. But the Pats, the Lions, and the Bears, especially because what's the quarterback situation?
And they tagged A-Rob, which is just like a head scratcher.
Just let him go, you pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And so we've still got
a chance.
we got Trey Hendrickson on the board, we got Clowney on the board, we've got Ngakoue on the board, but they probably don't really need an edge rusher. So it's sort of, I guess probably you could sort of kind of look that way, or you could maybe, I guess, chuck in a T.Y. Hilton and give them another option for their quarterback that doesn't exist.
He's gone, mate. He's finished. T.Y.'s finished.
So look, if anyone's got a good pick they would like me to
I do have the number one free agency signing the Bears should go for, and they should bring her in immediately. Is just give a huge contract to Ciara and just bring Russell Wilson along the way as well.
Yeah.
Let's just make that happen any way they can.
Something tells me that they'll sign a tight end as well for some strange reason. Like they've already got 8 on the roster. But there's definitely a tight end that'll end up there.
And that was
Matt Lacoste is available.
So Gerald Everett is probably the one that I was looking at, thinking, bring in Gerald Everett and then have him with Komet.
And Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham's a free agent, isn't he?
Nah,
Didn't he
mate,
retire?
Mate, Jimmy Graham did the best exit I have ever seen.
Caught the touchdown walk.
Touchdown walk straight out the race, done, finished. And it wasn't just a normal, mate, it was a one-hander going back in the end zone. I'm out. Mate, you could not, seriously.
It was perfect.
Unless you won a Super Bowl. That for someone who didn't win a Super Bowl, that is the best exit I have ever seen. Probably one of the best I've ever seen in sport, to be honest.
They did. Hey, I did see today they re-signed their kicker, so
Whoa.
Cairo Santos. Hey, let's get Pro Kick on the phone and get them a punter, yeah?
I tell you, the only way that the A-Rob tagging makes sense is if they're going to absolutely throw the barn at the Seahawks to get Russell Wilson, which they should.
Of course you should.
They absolutely should. They should throw 6 first-round picks at them, Just bloody chuck the...
The city of Chicago should relinquish deep dish pizza to get Russell Wilson. Just give it to Chicago. Send it over there and be like, that's yours now. Right? Just do whatever they can to go and get Russell Wilson.
Absolutely.
Well, they must have felt that way about Cairo Santos because his contract was a 5-year, $16 million contract for the kicker. What the hell is that?
Remember, Ryan Pace, 2018 GM of the Year.
Yeah. 9 million guaranteed. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what? So what did I just say that they were over the cap?
Yeah.
minus 23 million, and they're signing their kicker.
Oh, Ryan Pace. Yeah.
My
Oh,
Oh,
goodness.
they could trade the Bulls to Seattle, who won a new franchise, right? Let's just send the Chicago Bulls to Seattle, rebrand them as the Supersonics, and send Russell Wilson.
Done. Exactly. Well, that's it. Gee.
That is.
And
all
the
it
two
does.
teams that we left off were who again?
They
Eagles.
were
Rams.
the Rams,
Flip,
and
flip,
Philadelphia.
flip,
So let's
Philadelphia, flip.
who
Who are we going to give the Rams?
anybody? What do they need? I don't even know what they
I think
need.
they probably need a safety. They probably need a cheap safety.
They'll let
Maybe
one
Anthony
go.
Harris, something like
Marvin Jones isn't a free agent, is he? Technically,
No, I think.
is he?
Oh, is he restricted? I thought he was a free agent.
Yeah.
Maybe if he's a
Marvin
free
Jones-
agent,
Marvin
you
Jones
know
is a free
him.
agent.
If he's a
Yes.
free agent, let's send him over their way, right? It makes sense. Everyone's talked about it. Play with Stafford. His wife and Matt Stafford's wife are BFFs. Just
Oh,
Let's
they're
get
having,
it
the
done.
they're having the barbecues. They're
Very nice.
nice, like it. Go and
Sean
shop
McVay
it,
appears out of
get
nowhere
to
with his shirt off, just thirst trapping. It's all good.
Like it. Okay, and the other one we've got is obviously the Eagles.
Oh boy.
Well, they're going to probably need a wide receiver.
Yep. Nelson Aguilar is available. I don't think he can't even fly into Philadelphia, let alone play. For them. He wouldn't get out
City of
alive.
Philadelphia has a restraining order out on Nelson Aguilar.
Maybe AJ Green goes there. Maybe AJ Green maybe is a bit of a cheap option. I don't know. Pick and choose.
Maybe Antonio Brown.
Mate, if you're AJ Green, you wouldn't want to finish up. That's not how you want to finish, is it? At the Eagles.
I don't think so. They do need a wide receiver though to add to that group.
Can I just say about AJ Green? Like, go back and watch AJ Green's college tape, and it's like, oh my fucking god! Seriously,
Go back and watch his NFL tape.
Mate, go and have a look at his college. Like when I look at these wide receivers, I always go back and look at someone they mock them to. So I go and have a look at, like they say, okay, this wide receiver coming out is like he's like Julio Jones. Don't look at Julio Jones in the NFL. Go and have a look at Julio Jones at Alabama.
Yeah.
And you go back and have a look at AJ Green, and it's just like, mate, that is not fair. The shit that this guy was doing, and you don't want to end up at the Philadelphia Eagles. No, you just dude, you've made enough money. Just go off, and you're a one-team player, and you know you end up in the Hall of Fame or whatever they might have there, and leave it at that.
The other guy that makes sense is someone like John Brown, just a no-nonsense guy who gets on with it, who can do a bit everywhere.
Mate, if I was John Brown, I'm just going around trying to make as much money as a goddamn can, I can tell you.
Absolutely.
All
right. That's it. And we've just we're just
Wait
over
for
a
it.
minute under 2 hours. So
Bloody hell.
we
Josh Rogan, eat your heart out.
there you go. Thank you very much, guys. I was considering reading this back, but I won't do that to you.
And
But
to
I've
be
got it
honest-
all written down. But
Mate, I couldn't give a shit if it was 2 hours, mate. I've just enjoyed hanging
Oh,
out with
yeah.
you, Blakes. And that's more.
I've had a blast.
It's a conversation more than it is. I don't care about whoever listens to us, or no one subscribes.
but I know that. Well, listen, I tell you what.
You
Though,
hear
I
that?
will-
G from the Aussie guy says, "Fuck the listeners."
Don't smash subscribe.
I will hang on to this list, and if anyone,
if anybody breaks out,
if anyone gets, we'll see if anyone actually, hits
Yeah,
the target. Although we weren't taking salary cap into consideration, we were kind of going for,
I
the
did a
best
little bit.
case. But
No, but
Yeah,
we want some serious Twitter clout if this pays off.
oh yeah, we'll see. We will see. I think there's some really cracking picks in that lot anyway.
Yeah, some really good ones.
You could really see, ones you could really see. And for that reason, GMs, NFL GMs will go in the complete opposite direction to what we think. So, yeah. That's 2 hours. We just ticked over 2 hours. So listen, I think we will
Some of us
not overstay our welcome.
Some of us got to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Gents, thank you very, very much.
Okay.
Now clockwise from this way. Andrew, thank you. Your green screen was very, very impressive. And your hats.
Absolutely. Nailed the production.
Yeah, last pick was poor, though. You didn't have you didn't have?
The Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah,
Poor,
well,
poor.
but
You
they...
let yourself down, mate. It's better to start off bad and start off slow and then big than to start off big and then...
No,
Sorry,
but...
just to clarify, who was setting the order?
At the end is not easy, G.
It's random, mate. It's not me.
Oh.
It's in the lap of the gods.
There were 29 players off the board. So very, very difficult at that point.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah,
And to be honest, we had probably the 3 hardest teams to get a free agent to, based on where they are, and what they need, and they were the last 3 to come off the board. So,
yeah, exactly. Lewis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
And
Lewis. The weirdest Queensland accent I've ever heard, and there was no A's at the end of it too. What the hell, man? You haven't really got into the whole Australia thing since you've moved out here.
I know. Sorry. The handle is as far as I can commit to it.
Hey, and just want to say before you go too, mate, congrats on the new where you've moved. What are you doing now? I saw it. You tweeted it out.
He's gone to a small country town, I think, Brisbane somewhere.
No. Your new vocation. What are you doing? You tweeted it out last week. I should have put it down. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like work wise?
I've got the same job. I don't know.
Well, congrats on that.
No,
well done.
There's something else you were going to go and do.
Oh, I'm doing I'm doing an MMA podcast. Is that it?
I don't know if that was it, but mate, congrats on that anyway.
I'll take all the congratulations. No,
mate, I'm going to blame the extra gin MG out of Spain. Yep.
Hey, those spiteful Spanish messing up your head.
Mate, Spain is like the second home for Brits.
Oh, we conquered Spain. We're all over it.
He's going to sit bolt upright in the middle of the night tonight and go, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yes.
No, I love it. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on. Really appreciate it.
No, we'll should get you back on more often.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Lewis, have you started setting up and recruiting for Aussie Bowl 21?
Yes.
I have actually, yes. I'll take a quick 30 seconds here. 2021, we're going to 360 teams. So if you haven't signed up already, do that. There's still quite a few spaces left. I think last check we had about 90 registrants already. And wow. I made the decision for this year as well. 100% of funds are going towards charity. They're going to be split between the Smith family and Epilepsy Action Australia, which is a cause close to my heart. So I'm aiming for
nothing when I win.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, I'll give you some. You get the pride, G. You get the pride. If you want to win some cash. If you do want to win some cash, we also exclusively, now the FF Down Under Bowl, the Aussie Bowl, is open to anyone far and wide. Please, come one, come all. I ran it, the inaugural competition last year was the FF Down Under Invitational. Now you have to be in Australia to be a part of that. That one was sponsored. We had big prize pools. We had a $5,000 first prize for that one. So if you want to earn some money, the FF Down Under Invitational is where you want to go. But if you want to support a good cause, join a 360-team league and have some fun. The FF Down Under Bowl is where it's at. Check out my pinned tweet about how to get involved. Or you can go to fantasyfootballdownunder.com and sign up there.
The non-COVID country.
Yes. Yeah. Was that on air when we were talking about that or before I hit record?
No idea.
I don't know. But yeah, we're very lucky to be in a country where we are pretty much back to normal. Touch wood. I probably shouldn't speak too soon.
Don't do that, mate. Don't moz us. Don't moz us.
Ben, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on. Neil, thank you so much for
Not so
joining
much
us.
of a pleasure.
I really want to be on that couch. I think that's the next one.
Thank you
get
so
back
much,
in
guys.
this crowd.
And that was a lot of fun. And as I said at the top,
Thank you, Andrew. Did you thank Andrew up in the corner?
Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
didn't I?
He
I
started.
did notice you thanked me, but you didn't say that you'll have me back on soon. So don't worry.
Oh,
about it.
yes,
It's
we
fine.
absolutely will. Have you back on anytime.
No.
It was fantastic having you on. And
Yeah, good job, Andrew.
NFL free agency, get ready for the roller coaster. I mean, it's already starting, really.
Get ready for all the cuts.
Yep, get ready for all the cuts and signings and everything. But yeah, I'll keep a bit of a scorecard. We'll see how we all go.
So what are we, about 54 days away from the draft?
Fewer than that. I think it was 50 the other day.
40
Less than
50.
50.
Shit, I
Less than 50.
I got to start looking at running backs.
Mate, you got to
Well,
put that gin down.
Yeah, that's right. Well, listen, gents, it's been
Actually, I must admit though, just before we go,
Yep.
Lewis, I do when I write down when I'm looking at the wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks are really hard for me. I do put down next to the guys. Okay, I have now consumed 3 glasses.
It's a whole different grading scale. You've got to go
are.
back and calibrate and adjust. I get it. I
And
love
there
it.
is a calibration that needs to be done at the end of it.
well. What you've got to do is have 3 glasses of gin before you watch every player.
No, you'd be surprised.
That's how you calibrate.
The wide receiver pool is quite deep.
Yeah, I've heard that.
There are the guys that are good and the guys that deserve to be up there. But there are some guys that I always put a star, and when we speak about them, I put a star next to them. And last year, like guys like Gabriel Davis, just for instance, was one of those guys.
Nice.
And there's a few on here that are a long way down, but
Yeah.
just keep your eye on them. Tyler Lockett was a perfect example of one of those guys that I had.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Yeah, it's been a big commitment for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for everybody who has been watching and posting questions and joining in. Thank you so much. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody. Till next time, on behalf of everybody, thank you, and we will catch you next time.